Breaking news. Internet, drop your oat milk, lattes, and grab your popcorn. Because the celebrity soap opera we didn't ask for but secretly live for just took a plot twist so insane it makes a telenovela look like a tax seminar. Stefon Diggs. Yes, that's Stefon Diggs. NFL wide receiver and part-time Instagram thirst trap connoisseur, has allegedly been spotted in what witnesses are calling emotional freefall after Cardi B dropped a bombshell so nuclear, Chernobyl said, "Girl, calm down." And what's the tea? According to whispers, hotter than your ex's DMS at 2 a.m., Cardi isn't pregnant with Stefon's baby at all. Oh no, she's allegedly pregnant. By Offset. Again, now pause. Let that sink in. The man she famously left, clapped back at, reunited with, dragged on social media, and possibly cursed out in 3 different languages, might be about to welcome baby, no who even knows at this point. Was this revenge? A PR stunt? A plot twist from the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Or just another day in the chaotic reality show that is Cardi B's life? Buckle up, because the receipts, the rumors, and the raw drama are coming in hotter than Cardi's Instagram live rants. Stefon Diggs probably thought his summer was going to be about training camps, endorsement deals, and maybe the occasional yacht party in Miami, but instead he found himself at the center of a headline tornado so wild it could take out an entire city block. This all began when Cardi B made an appearance at the Ladyland Festival in New York, wearing a glitter-drenched bodysuit that caught every light and camera flash in a 5-mile radius. She performed with her usual fire, but the internet noticed something else, a subtle curve beneath her outfit that had nothing to do with dance moves or stage angles. Within minutes, TikTok detectives were slowing down the footage frame by frame. Instagram users were making side-by-side comparisons from previous weeks. And Twitter was already writing the ending to a pregnancy announcement that had not even been made. The speculation exploded not just because Cardi has a history of playing coy before dropping bombshells, but because of the man the public assumed was currently in her orbit. None other than Stefon Diggs, the NFL wide receiver known as much for his agility on the field as for his agility in navigating high-profile flings. This is a man who has been linked to more Instagram models than most of us have followers, who has been spotted at private rooftop dinners in LA one week and at undisclosed Caribbean resorts the next. Always in the company of women whose names leaked to gossip blogs just long enough to stir speculation before vanishing back into the shadows. So when whispers began that Cardi's alleged pregnancy might be connected to him, the pieces seemed to fit, until they didn't. Because, according to whispers from people who claimed to be close to the situation, the father in question was not Stefon at all but Offset, the man Cardi has been famously on-again off-again with 4 years. This is the same Offset whose relationship with Cardi has been a roller coaster of public makeups, explosive arguments, Instagram unfollows, and enough cheating rumors to fuel an entire season of a reality show. The idea that Cardi might be pregnant again by Offset hit Stefon like a rogue linebacker. Sources say he first heard about the possibility not from Cardi herself but from a flurry of late-night text messages and tagged memes sent to him by friends who knew the internet was about to go nuclear. Allegedly, he was seen leaving a private club in Miami looking visibly shaken, avoiding cameras, and getting into a black SUV without speaking to anyone. Whether that was coincidence or the first sign of heartbreak, the timing was suspicious enough for the blogs to run with it. This is where the story deepens because it is not just about a love triangle but about the overlapping egos, reputations, and personal brands of 3 people who live in the public eye. Stefon's brand is part athlete, part lifestyle influencer, and part romantic enigma. Cardi's brand is unapologetic chaos wrapped in charisma. Offset's is that of a reformed bad boy who occasionally falls off the wagon. Each of them has cultivated an image that thrives on drama but is also damaged by the wrong kind of drama, the kind they cannot control. If Cardi's pregnancy is indeed by Offset, then Stefon has been played in a way that makes him look less like a heartthrob and more like a headline casualty. And for someone whose social media is as curated as his game day outfits, that is a major blow. Anonymous insiders claim that Stefon had been quietly telling friends he and Cardi were seeing where things go, which in celebrity code often means there are enough private moments to make it complicated if one party suddenly appears in a public relationship with someone else. They also claim that Stefon had been planning a lavish birthday surprise for Cardi involving a custom diamond chain and a trip to a luxury resort in Turks and Caicos, arrangements that now hang in the balance. The twist is that Offset, despite their history, has allegedly been making his own grand gestures. From late-night visits to Cardi's recording studio, to sending over designer baby clothes from Paris weeks before any pregnancy rumors began. If true, it would mean Offset knew something the public, and possibly Stefon, did not. Setting the stage for maximum humiliation. The public reaction has been predictably chaotic. Some fans are defending Cardi's right to live her life without explanation. Others are clowning Stefon with memes comparing him to characters who thought they were the main love interest only to find out they were just a side plot. And still, others are accusing Offset of manipulating the situation to steal the spotlight. Sports commentators have even been roped into the mess, with one podcast joking that Stefon's on-field performance might be impacted if he cannot focus past the drama. Meanwhile, gossip accounts are claiming to have seen Cardi and Offset together at a private dinner in Atlanta, laughing and holding hands as though the last few years of turbulence never happened. Whether that dinner was recent or just recycled footage is unclear. But the timing of its release is feeding the frenzy. It is important to remember that in the world these three inhabit, perception is everything. Cardi B knows how to weaponize speculation, Offset knows how to play the repentant partner, and Stefon Diggs knows how to look unbothered, even when the world is dissecting his personal life in real time. But there are limits to image control, and this triangle is testing them all. Already there are rumors of PR teams scrambling behind the scenes, trying to spin the narrative in ways that protect their clients from looking like villains or fools. One alleged insider from Stefon's camp has hinted that he might break his silence in an upcoming interview. Not to spill tea, but to set the record straight about the timeline of events. If that happens, it could either calm the storm or ignite it further, depending on what he says. For now, the only certainty is that this story has legs. Every new sighting, every cryptic Instagram caption, every playlist Offset posts to his stories is being interpreted as part of the larger puzzle. Cardi's silence is particularly loud because in the past she has addressed rumors quickly, often with a mix of humor and defiance. Her decision not to confirm or deny anything is fueling the theory that she is letting the speculation work in her favor, keeping her name dominating headlines while she controls the reveal. Whether that reveal will come in the form of a glossy magazine cover, an Instagram live, or a surprise music video is anyone's guess. But until then, the mystery remains, and Stefon Diggs is left to navigate a public narrative that has already decided he is the man left standing at the altar of celebrity romance. What made the situation spiral even further was the sudden appearance of so-called leaked messages that began circulating on Reddit and private group chats. Messages allegedly between Cardi and a friend in which she hints at a complicated love life and makes cryptic references to someone training for the wrong game and another person who knows me better than anyone else. Whether these messages are real or manufactured by a bored internet troll is irrelevant to the wildfire they ignited, because once screenshots hit the digital bloodstream, they take on a life of their own, mutating, being misquoted, and becoming evidence in a trial that exists entirely in the court of public opinion. Stefon's name was suddenly being tied to every phrase, as amateur analysts dissected each word and declared they could tell exactly who Cardi was referring to based on the way she capitalized certain sentences. Offset's name, of course, was woven into the theory as the man who knows her better than anyone else. A detail that stung for fans who had been shipping the idea of Cardi and Stefon as the new power couple. Into this mess came the so-called eyewitness accounts, one claiming to have seen Stefon arguing with someone over the phone outside a Los Angeles steakhouse. Another swearing they spotted Cardi and Offset leaving a medical building together with a folder that looked suspiciously like an ultrasound printout. These accounts cannot be verified, but in the digital rumor mill, verification is less important than virality, and these claims were picked up by gossip sites within hours, paired with grainy images that may or may not have been related to the events being described. Meanwhile, Stefon's social media behavior became the subject of forensic-level analysis. He unfollowed 3 fashion influencers he had been consistently liking posts from, started posting cryptic song lyrics about loyalty and betrayal, and switched his profile picture to a black square for 48 hours before changing it again to an old photo of him as a rookie. Sports pages speculated whether this was a mental tactic to block out distractions or a subliminal message about starting fresh. Cardi, on the other hand, posted a short clip of herself laughing while sipping tea. No caption, no context, just enough to let the internet fight over what it meant. Offset kept the public guessing by alternating between posting adorable throwback clips of his kids and dropping snippets of unreleased music with lyrics that seemed to address a rekindled love. Fans lined up on either side, some rooting for the couple to reunite for the sake of their family, others cheering for Stefon to walk away unscathed and focus on his career. Behind the scenes, insiders claim things were more volatile than the polished Instagram post suggested. Stefon's team was reportedly in crisis meetings, debating whether to leak their own version of events through a friendly sports journalist or to maintain silence and let the hype fade. Cardi's PR team was allegedly split as well, with some advising her to go public with the pregnancy and control the narrative, while others argued for riding the wave of speculation to keep her at the center of entertainment headlines for as long as possible. Offset's camp, ever aware of the power of public perception, was said to be strategizing a potential family-first media tour that would paint him as the man who overcame his past mistakes to stand by the mother of his children. This is the part of the story most people never see, where private reputations and business opportunities hang in the balance in every post. Every sighting, every rumor is weighed against how it will play with fans and sponsors. And then came the twist that nobody expected. A supposed leaked invoice from a Beverly Hills jewelry store surfaced online showing a purchase made under Stefon's name for an expensive custom piece, described only as Queen's Crown with pink diamond centerpiece. The date on the invoice was just a week before the pregnancy rumors exploded. Immediately, theories spun out of control. Was this a gift meant for Cardi that was never delivered? Was it intended as part of a public reveal that got derailed? Or was it for someone else entirely, which would change the entire narrative of the supposed romance? The jeweler refused to comment, citing client confidentiality. But the fact that the invoice looked legitimate and matched the store's format from previous leaked purchases by other celebrities made it impossible to ignore. Stefon neither confirmed nor denied the purchase, which of course only fueled speculation. Offset, not to be outdone in the public chess match, was spotted days later at a luxury baby boutique in Atlanta, smiling and chatting with staff while casually picking out gender-neutral designer baby outfits. TMZ obtained the footage and ran it with a headline that all but declared the pregnancy confirmed. Cardi stayed silent. Her Instagram stories filled with unrelated content like cooking videos and beauty tutorials, each one drawing hundreds of comments asking for the truth. Some followers accused her of playing with their emotions, others defended her right to keep her personal life private, but all agreed she was controlling the tempo of the conversation like a seasoned media conductor. Sports networks even began weaving the drama into their coverage, with commentators making tongue-in-cheek references during game highlights and fans bringing homemade signs to matches with slogans like Team Cardi and Stefon deserves better. The intersection of pop culture and sports had created a hybrid spectacle, and both industries were feeding off the attention. Stefon's jersey sales reportedly saw a spike, Offset's streaming numbers climbed, and Cardi's social media engagement hit record highs. In a cynical way, everyone was benefiting from the chaos, which only made the public more suspicious that at least some of this drama might be orchestrated. Then there was the matter of the anonymous source who claimed to be a friend of all three parties and who began dropping cryptic comments under random posts across multiple platforms. This person, using an account that seemed to appear out of nowhere, hinted at a truth bomb that would come out soon and insisted that the story was much messier than you think. While it could easily have been a troll chasing clout, the account displayed an unnerving amount of insider detail about the movements and habits of the trio, leading some to believe it might actually be someone close to them. Whether their hints will ever amount to anything remains to be seen. But in the meantime, the anticipation has become its own form of entertainment. By now the public was fully invested, checking daily for new sightings, dissecting every word in Cardi's verses for hidden meaning, and reading far too deeply into Stefon's post-game interviews. A single offhand comment about keeping focus when life throws curveballs was instantly clipped and shared as supposed confirmation that he was speaking about the situation. Offset's grin in a backstage video was labeled a smug smile of victory by one gossip site. Cardi's sudden decision to disable comments on a recent post was seen as either an attempt to avoid toxic speculation or a strategic move to build suspense. The theories were endless, the debates fierce, and through it all, the central question remained unanswered. As the noise reached fever pitch, it became almost impossible to separate fact from fiction, and that was exactly when another layer of chaos entered the picture, in the form of a blurry late-night paparazzi video showing Stefon leaving what looked like a private event in Miami while accompanied by a woman whose identity could not be clearly determined. The clip was shaky, the lighting was terrible, but that did not stop viewers from zooming in. enhancing frames, and debating whether the woman's hairstyle matched Cardi's or belonged to someone completely unrelated. Within hours, fan accounts posted side-by-side comparisons of earrings, nails, and even the pattern on the dress to prove their chosen theory, and each side of the debate dug in harder than before. Some argued it was Cardi, and therefore proof that she and Stefon were still involved in some capacity, while others insisted it was a friend, or even a business associate, but not the woman at the center of the pregnancy rumors. Offset seemed unbothered, uploading a clip of himself in the studio bobbing his head to a track with the caption "focused," and fans immediately started interpreting the title of the unreleased song as some kind of subliminal reference to staying locked in despite distractions. Cardi herself fueled the fire by posting a picture of her hand resting on a table with an unmistakable pink diamond ring front and center, a ring that looked suspiciously similar to the one described in that leaked jewelry invoice. The caption was nothing more than a single heart, but in the context of the swirling drama, it was received like a press conference in itself, spawning thousands of comments dissecting every angle of the photo to see if there were clues in the background. Then came the so-called hospital sighting, a story that popped up on a local gossip forum from someone claiming to work at a high-end private medical facility in Atlanta. According to this anonymous poster, Cardi had been there for an appointment, accompanied not by Offset, but by an unnamed man wearing a baseball cap pulled low over his face. The facility's privacy rules meant no photos could be taken inside, but that did not stop the poster from describing the man's build and tattoos in suspiciously specific detail that many fans said sounded exactly like Stefon. The story was picked up by smaller blogs, and from there made its way into mainstream gossip outlets, where it was repeated with just enough hedging language to avoid outright libel but still leave the implication hanging in the air. This development reignited the speculation machine at a point when it seemed the drama might finally be cooling down, and once again the public was left with more questions than answers. Was Stefon secretly still involved? Was Offset's public nonchalance just a cover for private frustration? And most importantly, was there actually a baby on the way, or had the entire saga been a masterclass in attention economy? Brands began to grow nervous as the drama became increasingly unpredictable. One luxury sneaker company that had been in talks with Stefon for a new campaign reportedly put the deal on pause, citing a desire to wait until his personal life was less turbulent. A beverage brand that had been lining up Cardi for a major promotional event suddenly pivoted to a different celebrity, officially blaming scheduling conflicts, but unofficially admitting they did not want the pregnancy speculation overshadowing their launch. Even Offset, who had seemed to be gaining goodwill through the ordeal, saw a potential endorsement opportunity slip away when the company involved decided the optics were too messy to align with their family values marketing push. This was the side effect that the fans and gossip pages rarely considered: the way constant public scrutiny could directly interfere with the private negotiations and income streams of the people involved. For the celebrities at the center of it all, every rumor came with a price tag, sometimes in lost opportunities, sometimes in legal fees, sometimes in sheer emotional energy drained from managing the fallout. The anonymous account that had been hinting at an impending truth bomb returned with a long cryptic post, saying that by the time the truth comes out, everyone will look foolish, and that the baby news isn't the wildest part. This immediately set off a new round of theorizing, with some convinced that the account was teasing a different scandal entirely, possibly involving financial disputes or career betrayals between the trio. Others dismissed it as bait, but the fact that the account's earlier hints had occasionally lined up with real events kept it in the public conversation. Some conspiracy-minded fans even began suggesting that the account was run by one of the celebrities themselves, or by someone on their payroll, as a way to subtly steer the narrative and keep people hooked without having to make official statements. Whether or not that was true, it was undeniable that the account had become part of the entertainment, a side character in the ongoing drama, whose cryptic messages were parsed and debated like prophetic verses. By now, late-night talk shows were cracking jokes about the situation, YouTubers were churning out timeline breakdowns, complete with exaggerated reenactments, and TikTok was flooded with theories, parodies, and even musical remixes of key quotes. The spectacle had transcended the original rumor and become a cultural event, one where truth mattered less than the thrill of participation. Cardi posted a brief video of herself in the studio, rapping a few bars from an upcoming track that seemed to address fake friends and media lies. But she cut it off before the part everyone wanted to hear. Stefon, after a particularly strong game performance, was asked in the post-match interview about off-field distractions and responded with a smirk and a simple "I'm good." which was immediately clipped into reaction memes. Offset posted a short montage of family moments, ending with him closing a door in the camera's face. A visual metaphor that his fans hailed as his way of saying the public did not deserve full access to his life. And then, in what felt like the peak of the roller coaster, a glossy magazine cover leaked online showing Cardi with a visible baby bump, smiling in a flowing gown. The cover was supposedly for an upcoming issue, but the image quality and off-center framing lead some to believe it was a fake. The magazine refused to comment, fueling more speculation, and within hours the image was everywhere, debated on every platform. If real, it would be the definitive confirmation that the pregnancy was not just a rumor. But without an official statement, it became yet another puzzle piece in a picture that kept shifting every time someone thought they had it figured out. Theories stacked upon theories, arguments flared, and through it all, the three central figures maintained a deliberate mix of silence, cryptic hints, and unrelated content that kept the machine running without ever giving it enough fuel to reach a conclusion. It was the perfect modern celebrity saga, messy enough to keep attention but controlled enough to avoid total self-destruction. A case study in how scandal, whether real or engineered, could dominate headlines and shape careers in the era of instant sharing and collective obsession. And as the dust refused to settle, the only thing anyone could say for sure was that the story was far from over, and whatever happened next would be dissected, magnified, and turned into yet another chapter in a drama that had already blurred the line between entertainment and reality beyond recognition. And there you have it, the wild, twisted, no seatbelt roller coaster that started with a whisper, turned into a full-blown hurricane, and left the internet clutching its pearls like we just watched the finale of the juiciest reality show ever. But here's the thing, this isn't just gossip, it's a living, breathing, meme-generating monster that feeds on our clicks, our comments, our side eyes, and our late-night "did you hear about" texts. You've just heard the entire breakdown, every messy twist, every suspicious ring photo, every eyebrow-raising sighting, and now the ball is in your court. Do you think this was a real scandal spiraling out of control? Or was it a carefully staged performance worthy of an award? Was Stefon blindsided? Or was he playing chess while the rest of us were playing checkers? Is Offset the calm in the storm? Or the mastermind stirring the pot? I want to hear your theories, your hot takes, and your best detective work in the comments right now. Smash that like button if you lived through this chaos with me. Hit subscribe so you never miss another truth bomb. And turn on notifications because trust me, whatever comes next is going to be even crazier.